Good morning, friends. So far, till our last class, we have discussed what are the different types of assessments based on their interpretation, based on their preparation, and based on the purpose. Today, we will be discussing more on the different types of assessments that we use based on the different attributes we measure, based on the mode of response and the nature of data obtained from the assessments. So, what are the different attributes that a teacher usually looks for in a classroom? Like achievement, aptitude, attitude, interest, social adjustments, scientific attitude. All these are the basic attributes that we usually look for to measure in a classroom assessment. What is achievement? The knowledge and the skills that a student acquired through a planned instruction in a particular grade level. Similarly, what is aptitude? The capacity to acquire skills to perform tasks in the future. And what is attitude? Attitude, we can say like that it is a set of emotions, beliefs and behaviors toward a particular subject, object, a person or a thing or an event. What is interest? Interest is an expressed feelings toward various educational, aesthetic, social, scientific, recreational, vocational activities. What is social adjustment? That is the relationship with the peers, the reaction to praise and criticism, reaction to authority, and emotional stability and social adaptability. Similarly, what is scientific attitude? Scientific attitude can be defined as the open-mindedness, willingness to suspend a judgment, sensitivity to cause and effect relations, inquiry mind. These are the some attributes of scientific attitude that as a teacher we look for those attitude to be developed within a student. So, based on the nature of data obtained from assessment, that is qualitative and quantitative, the assessments are of different types. For example, for getting quantitative data or where we usually get a quantitative data, this takes the form of an achievement test and assignment. Because think of a situation that we are giving a test in a classroom. Maybe it is for the purpose of formative or it is the purpose of summative. Usually usually the result is interpreted in a numerical value that is called as score. So this is the quantitative form of the data that we obtain from the assessments. And similarly, also qualitative data is obtained from assessments, where think of a situation like while we go for assessing the interest, the social adjustments or the quality of a work or performance, then we will go for qualitative analysis. Qualitative data means basically words, observations which is not in a numerical form. Qualitative data can come from variety of sources including extended response type questions, anecdotal records, portfolios, classroom observations, etc. We can quantify that qualitative data by employing a rating scale such as doesn't meet expectations, we can give a numerical value 1, partially meets expectation, we can give a numerical value of 2, meets expectations, we can give a numerical value of 3, and exceeds expectations, we can give a value of 4. Okay, so now we will see the based on the mode of response, the assessment is of 3 types, like for oral responses, for written responses, and for performance assessment task. That is the learner performs or the learner does an activity and how the learner is doing that activity. Based on that, the learner's knowledge and skills is assessed. Similarly, Similarly, based on the mode of based on what are the learning outcomes we need to assess and the purpose of assessment, the different modes of response is decided. Where written form of assessment is not suitable, then we will go for oral, or where written or oral both are not applicable, then we will go for performance assessment task. During the performance assessment task, we can measure the complex learning outcomes that we cannot measure through written form or oral form. Oral form means the assessment is based on how the student communicates in words about the knowledge, and that we need to assess. And during the written mode of response, basically 5 major factors as a teacher can assess from that, like the fluency, content, convention, syntax and vocabulary. If it is a literary work, then we can think of the content, the syntax, convention and vocabulary. Whereas if it is a mathematical problem, then obviously we will look for the content and the convention, sometimes syntax. And if it is a performance assessment task, then we need to be careful regarding the selection of the task and how the performance task is going to be evaluated. These two things as a teacher we need to be careful about. And the basically 2 limitations of performance assessment task is there, and those are unreliability in scoring and time consuming in nature. Because a performance assessment task can be assessed differently by different assessors, as well as an assessor can also assess the same thing differently with respect to the time. And also, as you know, performing an activity will take much time for the student in doing that, and as well as the teacher in assessing that. So so far for today's lesson. Thank you for watching.